Ladies and gentlemen, what if I told you that while President Trump's Border Patrol agents are risking their lives to protect this country from cartel violence, an Obama-appointed judge is forcing their commander to show up in the courtroom every single day like a criminal on probation? And that's not all, folks. While these agents are being ordered to wear body cameras, cartels are reportedly offering $50,000 bounties on their heads right here in Chicago. I mean, the city that Trump's team just turned into the front line of his immigration crackdown. Now, this is not a movie. This is real. In fact, they probably should make a movie out of this. But you've got federal officers that are dodging bullets, dodging lawsuits, and now dodging activist judges who think that they can run the United States Border Patrol from a bench in downtown Chicago. And tonight, we're going to expose exactly how this madness started, how Border Chief Gregory Bavino is fighting back, and why this story could define the entire Trump presidency moving forward. Because make no mistake, this is not just about one judge or one city or one operation. This is about whether the commander-in-chief still commands or whether the deep state found a brand new way to fight back. Hit the like button and subscribe, guys. We begin in Chicago. It's October 2025. Once called the Windy City, now called Ground Zero in President Trump's fight to restore America's borders. Now, on the one side, you got Chief Gregory Bavino, President Trump's Border Patrol commander, leading Operation Midway Blitz. This is a full-scale campaign that it has already resulted in more than 1,800 arrests since September 8th. His mission: to shut down cartel supply lines, dismantle illegal safe houses, and to restore law and order to a city that was long surrendered to chaos. But on the other side, you've got this rogue judicial system that believes that it can dictate battlefield decisions from behind a marble bench. Now, picture this, guys. You got federal agents raiding cartel apartments day by day, right? Then their commander is ordered to appear in court every night at 6 p.m. The message from the left: enforce the law, but only on our terms. Now, this is no longer about politics, clearly. This is about open warfare between President Trump's executive branch and unelected bureaucrats who think that they can overrule the commander-in-chief himself. Enter Judge Sarah Ellis, appointed by Barack Obama himself, born in Canada. Speaking of Canadians, did you guys know that Katy Perry is dating Justin Trudeau? Drop a yes or no down below on that one. Anyway, enter Judge Sarah Ellis, again, appointed by Barack Obama, born in Canada, and now wielding a gavel like it's a scepter. I mean, she's the one who issued that restraining order banning President Trump's agents from using any non-lethal force. No pepper balls, no tear gas, not even rubber bullets against violent protesters. Then she took it a step further. She ordered daily check-ins at 6 p.m. for Chief Bavino, forcing him to essentially leave the field and sit before her courtroom like a schoolboy getting called for detention. I'm surprised she didn't slap an ankle monitor on his leg. You know what I mean? And if that weren't enough, she is now mandating body cameras for Border Patrol agents, turning tactical missions into political theater. Now, this is not about oversight. Clearly, this is about control. This is a single unelected judge that is dictating how federal officers defend themselves while cartels target them for execution. If you're watching this show right now, drop a yes or a no. Did you vote for this judge? Now, ask yourself, what happens when the people sworn to protect America have to ask permission from the very activists that are undermining her security? Now, if you could save money, if you could keep your doctor and gain benefits at no extra cost, wouldn't that make sense? Like, this is what most people are discovering right now after reviewing their Medicare plan with Chapter. And this is why I've partnered with Chapter. They use common sense to help people navigate Medicare without pressure. Now, one of our viewers said, Chapter made my Medicare decision feel like the easiest choice I've made in years. So let me ask, doesn't it just make sense to do what most people are already doing? Now, most people are already calling the phone number that you're seeing on your screen right there at the bottom, or they're visiting askchapter.org/Ron. That phone number again is 909-563-8279. And speaking of that, listen to this comment from one of our own subscribers. This was from Mary Evelyn Packer. Hey, Mary. So she said, Ron, thank you so much for giving information on Chapter. I told them that it was your program that led me to them. They were very friendly and very helpful. Thank you so much. God bless. Well, God bless you too, Mary. Now, back to our story, because this, while ordinary Americans are making smart decisions like Mary, The people who were sworn to protect them, they're being dragged into these daily courtrooms by activist judges. Now, just imagine this, okay? While Judge Ellis is being lectured, while Judge Ellis is lecturing President Trump's agents about restraint, Mexican cartels are now putting $50,000 bounties on their heads. According to new DHS intel, cartel networks operating through Chicago's South Side are furious. Trump's Operation Midway Blitz has shredded their smuggling routes and frozen their cash flow. So what do? Well, they go old school. They go old school gangster on their butts, okay? Issuing kill lists with Border Patrol names on them. And these aren't idle threats. We're talking encrypted messages, burner phones, spotters near federal housing units. So while our agents are wearing body cams, the cartels wear night vision scopes. You can't even make this stuff up, guys. This is the battlefield that Trump's people are walking into. I mean, this should be on a movie. Like, instead of standing behind them, an activist judge and a cheering media are tying their hands. Now, you tell me, how does an agent survive that kind of setup? I mean, they're fighting cartels by day and court orders by night. And still, Bavino refuses to flinch. The whole courtroom circus started with one viral clip. Outside of the ICE facility in Broadview, Illinois, a far-left pastor named David Black refused to leave federal property after multiple warnings. Now, he locked arms with protesters, blocking transport vehicles up until officers deployed pepper ball rounds to disperse the crowd. Now, one shot struck his sleeve. Within hours, mainstream media networks, they're running headlines, clergy attacked by Trump's Border Patrol. Clearly out of context, clearly blowing the whole story out of proportion and telling lies at the same time. Guys, this is the moment that Judge Ellis stepped in, calling it excessive force, issuing her infamous restraining order. But what they never showed you was the rest of that footage. Agitators throwing rocks, setting off fireworks, shoving officers. The so-called peaceful clergy line was pure propaganda. It gave Ellis the excuse that she needed to micromanage President Trump's enforcement operations. And overnight, this entire story just shifted from criminals breaking the law to officers violating rights. This is how media manipulation becomes judicial power. And then came the night that everything changed. Chief Gregory Bavino, President Trump's top enforcer, was struck in the head by a rock during a violent standoff in Chicago's South Shore. A direct hit, folks, blood pouring down his temple, surrounded by chaos. And what does he do? He doesn't retreat. He doesn't call it quits. He deploys tear gas in self-defense to protect his men. And that single act right there, protecting himself and his officers, was all Judge Ellis needed to accuse him of defiance of all things. She called it a violation of her restraining order. What? Think about that, guys. Actually getting assaulted by a mob, responding non-lethally, and then being punished for surviving. But Bavino didn't apologize. I mean, why should he? Do you think that Bavino should apologize? Drop a yes or no, guys. He told his entire team exactly this. He said, I take my orders from the commander-in-chief and no one else. Now, I don't know about you guys, but that's courage. That is loyalty right there. And that is exactly what this activist judge cannot stand. Someone who won't kneel down and bow down to the bench while serving the flag. So, what's her response? She orders Bavino to appear in her courtroom every single evening at 6 o'clock sharp, like a schoolboy being summoned after class. It's detention time. Imagine that, right? A border chief who spends his mornings coordinating raids, his afternoons briefing President Trump's DHS, and his nights standing in front of an unelected judge explaining why he defended his agents. This is absolutely absurd. It is asinine, it's humiliating, and it's deliberate. This isn't about accountability. This is about domination. Judge Ellis is trying to establish herself as commander of Trump's Border Patrol. That's all this is. It's like Barney Fife, micromanaging active federal operations in real time. She's demanding to review every deployment, every arrest, every tactical move, like she's running the field from a courtroom bench, folks. And while Bavino complies on paper, he ain't backing down in practice, because deep down, he already knows if one judge can seize control of a law enforcement, the Constitution itself is under siege. Now, here's where it gets real interesting, okay? President Donald J. Trump, he ain't sitting back watching this thing unfold. He is absolutely furious. Behind the scenes, the administration's calling this exactly what it is. It's judicial overreach on steroids. Trump has already ordered his legal team and the Department of Justice to file motions challenging Ellis's restraining orders. Senior aides are calling it a direct violation of Article 2 authority, and they're right. Even the Supreme Court's conservative majority, they have already hinted that they're ready to smack down activist judges who overstep their boundaries, just like they did with the nationwide injunctions earlier this year. Now, Trump's message is clear. Law enforcement answers to the Constitution and not to Canadian-born Obama judges. A symbol of a larger fight here. Think about it. This is really, if you boil it down to the simplest components, this is a battle between an elected commander-in-chief, President Trump, and these unelected bureaucrats who think that they can rewrite the chain of command. This ain't about Chicago. This is about a constitutional stress test for the entire presidency. So I want to talk about how this madness stays alive. It's the media's fault. I mean, look, you got legacy news outlets, CNN, MSNBC. They're not just reporting this story, they're fueling it. They've been embedding journalists directly within these protest crowds, kind of like what the FBI did with January 6th. Don't even get me started on that. And then they're crying foul when tear gas hits near them, right? They demand immunity while standing right next to the agitators that are throwing the bottles and the rocks. It's so stupid. And they're getting away with this nonsense. And these judges are backing them. And so when these same agitators get arrested, CNN calls them faith leaders. It's theater, guys. Don't fall for this nonsense. And it works, though, because that footage gets played on repeat, feeding judges like Ellis the political cover that they crave in order to justify their rulings. You see the pattern here, the cycle, right? Meanwhile, you got the independent reporters, the ones that are actually exposing cartel infiltration and human trafficking networks in Chicago. They're getting shadow banned. They're getting flagged or just completely ignored. The legacy media doesn't want the truth. They want a narrative. And their narrative is very simple. Trump's Border Patrol are villains. The cartels are misunderstood, and activist judges are our heroes. You see, it's just upside down America, and people are finally waking up fast to this nonsense. So now we can talk about policy all day long till I'm blue in the face, but let's not forget about the human cost. These Border Patrol agents, they're not robots. They're fathers, their mothers, their coaches to our kids' sports teams, they're veterans who've already served in war zones. And now, under this activist judge's ruling, they're living through another one right here at home. Several families in Chicago's south suburbs are already under protection. Their names are leaked, addresses docked. Some of them now wear bulletproof vests off duty. Kids pulled out of school because activists were following their buses. Remember, these are the people that are enforcing the law, not breaking it. Now imagine being told to defend your country while knowing a cartel sniper could be watching your front porch. This is what President Trump's agents face tonight. And through it all, Chief Bavino still shows up every morning, ready to lead, because when your oath says defend the United States, you don't get to quit just because the battlefield moved to your own backyard. Now, I want to step back just for a second, okay? This fight isn't just about Chicago. It is about the structure of American power itself, guys. The founding fathers of this country created one commander-in-chief for a reason. They knew that you can't run a war or secure a border by committee, especially not by a committee of 833 judges wearing black robes, right? Now, if Sarah Ellis's theory of authority stands, then that would mean any district judge in America could technically veto a presidential order, halt a deportation raid, or even cancel a national security operation overnight. Today it's Chicago. Tomorrow it could be Texas or Arizona or Florida. You name it, right? This is exactly what the founders warned against. Government by injunction instead of election. So when unelected judges act like generals, democracy becomes decoration. This is why President Trump's pushing back, because this isn't a courtroom drama. It is a constitutional crisis that's playing out in real time, and the stakes are nothing less than the survival of executive authority itself. Now, President Trump isn't blinking. He's doubling down. He's expanding Operation Midway Blitz, and he's enforcing the very agents that the left is trying to handcuff. The Department of Homeland Security just approved new armored transport units for urban raids. And internal memos are now suggesting that a DOJ appeal is already in motion in order to challenge Judge Ellis's orders directly. Now, President Trump, he ain't just playing defense. He is actually moving the ball downfield. He's called on Congress to fast track new agent protection legislation, meaning guaranteeing immunity for federal officers that are defending themselves under active threat. And his team is in talks with state leaders about task force coordination, ensuring that what happens in Chicago never happens again anywhere else. Because for Trump, this isn't about one city. This is about restoring authority to those who wear the badge and answer the call of duty. So when the president says, we will finish the job, he means it. And this time, America's enemies, foreign and domestic, they're watching them do it. So where does this leave us tonight? Well, it leaves us with a question that every American has to answer right now. Who's really running this country? The commander in chief elected by the people, or the unelected judges who think that their gavels outrank the Constitution? Every agent who stands that line deserves more than thanks. They deserve some backup, right? So, because when Border Patrol is targeted, when law enforcement becomes the enemy, that's not just their fight, it's our fight. If America wants safety, order, and sovereignty, we can't just stay silent while activist judges are playing commander and cartels play executioner. Support the men and women that are defending this country. Share their story, demand accountability, because if they fall, then the line falls with them. Now, I'm telling you, this is the hill that defines the Trump era. The battle for the border isn't in Texas anymore. It's in Chicago, it's in the courtroom, and it's in the soul of the republic. And this time, America's watching.